So we're going to have a chat about these Vittoria tyres. So I've got the Martello in the e-bike version, e-MARTELLO, which is their gravity casing or e-bike casing or downhill casing, stronger casing. So enduro casing. And then I've got the the Vittoria Mazza up the front. So Martello I ran in the rear, Mazza I ran in the front. This is just the trail casing, so quite light. Same as an EXO, feels more or less identical to an EXO to the hand, to the touch. Now, we'll ignore the rear for start. Let's have a talk about how this thing hooks up. So I've just built a bit of a flat corners track and I've been sessioning that a little bit. I've also been riding a lot of different trails on these tyres. Now, excuse me. First off, they felt a little bit slippery and quite bouncy. And if you saw my initial impressions of it, you'd see that I was not sure which way to go with them. I wasn't too... my thoughts were not complete on the tyres. So, did a few more trails, a couple of different kind of conditions, loose, rocky, kind of hard pack with some dicey loose stuff on it. They didn't feel excellent. So Kersbrook, for instance, I rode at Kersbrook on Monday on these tyres, and they felt quite loose. There's still grip there. The grip's still there. Quite loose, fast. Definitely a fast tyre. A little bit bouncy, and you just get a fair bit of feedback. Now, that's kind of the initial impression I had. That you get a lot of feedback for these tyres. You get a lot of chop, and they're quite bouncy, but it makes for a very fast tyre. It makes for a very fast tyre, a very playful tyre. So if I had a short travel 29er or just a short travel trail bike or something that I wanted to boost around in and do some commuting on and hit a heap of trails, Cobblers, Kersbrook, Shepherds, all the kind of mellower stuff, the fast, fun, flowy gear, these tyres are killer. These tyres are excellent. So the Martello on the back with the thicker casing. These are 2.4, 2.35 on the back, 2.4 at the front. It doesn't mount up very wide. It mounts up a little wider than a Maxx's 2.3, I guess, and not as wide as a Maxx's 2.5. The cornering knobs on this tyre are excellent. The design of the tread pattern is excellent. There's nothing I can fault about the design of the tread pattern at all. When I lay it over on flat, loose, dry corners, the grip is better than a DHF. Absolutely. The bite and the way it holds, it's like a serrated knife. It's just cutting in, and there was just confidence there. A little harder rubber. The rubber's a little hard, but the confidence was there purely through the tread pattern. So Vittoria, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for the tread pattern, for sure. The rubber itself is a little too bouncy and a little too high rebounding for me. It makes for not a very quiet ride. It makes for quite a rowdy ride, really, if you're riding really rough stuff at high speed and looking for braking surfaces where there isn't much braking traction. They don't pull up quite as well. They're very close. They're very close. I wish... Now, Vittoria will change this, I'm sure. I hope that they improve the rubber compound. Maybe go a little softer on the rubber. They're not wearing at all. This one is not worn at all. It's got very little wear, so the front. But these corner knobs, these knobs hook up like nothing else. It's so impressive. Feels excellent, feels confident, just a little bit slippery when it gets really loose. So, for me, I've just put the Minion DHF back on the front and the DHR2 back on the back. And the first thing I noticed when I put the other tyres, my go-to tyres back on, was instantly just a supple ride. Super supple, still fast, more control, more straight line. It just holds a line better. But a little bit more sluggish to ride around, a little bit more sluggish to commute on, a little bit more sluggish to get up the hill, a little bit more sluggish to get started, but the overall rolling speed, kind of similar. So I love this tyre. I think it's excellent. Never cut it, never had any issues there. Took a couple of big hits. It just feels a little bit weak. It just feels a little bit, maybe weak's not the word. It is a trail casing. It's a bit bouncy. It's a little bit bouncy, and it's a little bit less confident under brakes in loose stuff. And on steeper descents, definitely would prefer a DHF max grip. So the rubber, like I said, is probably like a 45 or a 50A, 45 on the corners maybe, and a 50A in the middle. So not quite the compliance you get out of a max grip DHF. Even a Max Terra DHF is more compliant, a little bit less bouncy, and the Max Terra DHF is faster than a max grip. So if you want speed, but you still want it supple, the Max Terra DHF is the way to go. But yeah, short travel bike, if you want a faster pair of tyres, these things are killer. I'd go a Mazza front and rear, to be honest. I'd probably go a 2.6 at the front. This is a 2.4. I'd go a 2.6 at the front and a 2.4 in their Enduro casing out the back. I think that would be a wicked, super grippy, fast combo. And as soon as you get used to it, the bounciness and whatever, as soon as you're used to it, it's no biggie. It's literally no biggie. They feel killer, they ride well, they grip up well, and they're going to last for ages. So nailed the compound, didn't nail the compound at all. Nailed the tread pattern. The sizing's good. I'm happy with the sizing. Spot on. That's the front one, the Mazza. Martello out the back. Wearing a little bit more, which is fair enough. It's a back tyre. It's getting chopped up a bit more. But the grip, same story. These side knobs, these are closer together. But same story. When I lay it over, there's grip there. It's a hard compound, so it slips a little bit. But yeah, when you're slashing, when you're sending it, there's grip there. There's a lot of grip there. So, or enough. I shouldn't say a lot of grip there. There's definitely enough grip there. Fast tyre, very strong. This e-bike or enduro casing is very strong. The sides feel quite robust, quite kind of hard to fold as well. So that's impressive. Not overly heavy. This weighs exactly the same as a DHR2 DH compound, DH casing. Not the most grip pedaling up. It's a little bit slippery just because it's a hard compound. You can feel it's a hard compound. It just doesn't bite to anything. It doesn't hold on to anything. But when you're going downhill, the corners grip up really, really well, and the top's got just enough braking power to pull you up. So it's not excellent. The Aggressor reigns supreme over this tyre for sure. But the DHR2 side knobs, I don't think they're any better. I don't think they grip any better, to be honest. These are obviously closer, so when it gets wet and muddy, they're going to be terrible. But the only downside to these Vittoria tyres, I guess this is the summary. The only downside I see to these tyres is the compound of rubber. They're a little too bouncy and a little too lively. So if they can improve on that, make them a little more dull, a little more supple, a little more gravity oriented, a little more confidence inspiring, these are just a home run. So big ups Vittoria, big ups for Whippers for getting me these tyres, big ups to GKA Sports, I believe it is. Thank you very much, Ben, for hooking me up these tyres. I was pleasantly surprised, to be honest. I didn't think I was going to like them, and yeah, they changed my mind. So they're not going to be thrown away. They're not going to be given to the next dude who asks me for a tyre. I'm keeping these things because they'll probably go on a short travel bike if I get a bike to demo or something, and I need to put some different tyres on it. This is a cool combo. So yeah, Mazza on the front, Martello on the rear. If you want a little bit more confidence, Mazza front and rear. Enduro casing for the back, and yeah, I think you'll like them. Like I said, not as supple as a DHR2. As soon as I put those tyres on, just smooth, calm, composed. It takes way more of the chatter out of the trail, but the grip on these side knobs is superior to me. It does a better job of holding on when you're loose and right on the edge of the tyre. The Maxxis tends to kind of give way a little bit. And after riding this and going back to a Maxxis, I now understand the vagueness that people talk about when they're on the side of the tyre. So it's not an issue for me because I can work that vagueness and I know how to ride that tyre, and it's got so many other benefits, so I stick with it. But I think I'd like something like this. I'd like something with that side knob. So Vittoria, sort your rubber out, get it nice and soft and more supple and less bouncy, and you got yourself another sale for sure. So spot on. Thanks guys, and ride whatever you want. I'll be testing this one next. Michelin DH34 Bike Park Edition. So hard, compound, feels like it's just going to be bouncy and not that good, but durable, going to last way longer than the DHR2 that I currently run out back. And who knows, it might be a winner. It might be a winner. Stay tuned.